Right. We're being live streamed. There we go. I'll actually wait until the clock gets to 30. Another 15 seconds. So the people who are watching on YouTube or watching the recording, you can just be in gleeful anticipation of what's going to happen in 3 seconds. My goodness, this is so exciting.
Here's today's God Call with Reverend Bill.
Sweatpants are very comfortable. So are pajamas. And still, every once in a while, we want to get all dressed up. We want to put on our finery so that we can show the world and ourselves that we mean business. We are ready to be snazzy, dressed to the nines, and prepared for something fabulous, spectacular, wonderful, and fashion forward to happen. Put on your best.
I felt exclusively my pain. I isolated out of shame. No one could understand the marrow of my Jones. We're all just walking each other home. We're all just walking. We're all just walking. We're all just walking, walking each other home. I never felt like I belonged in sacred circles with my song. You pulled me back and said, please don't go. We're all just walking each other home. We're all just walking. We're all just walking. We're all just walking, walking each other home. We're all just walking. We're all just walking, we're all just walking, walking each other home. Oh, built walls around me, paper thin, but still they kept you out and kept me in. My heart knows better than to be defined by what I know. We're all just walking each other home. We're all just walking. We're all just walking. We're all just walking, walking each other home. We're all just walking. We're all just walking. We're all just walking, walking each other home. Stay here while I open to the safe place you provide. This heart that you have chosen, and no one ever need to hide. We're all just walking. We're all just walking. We're all just walking, walking each other home. We're all just walking. We're all just walking, we're all just walking, walking each other home. Walking each other home. We're all just walking each other home. Oh.
Whew. Thank you, thank you, thank you, Jami, Lula, and happy Memorial Day weekend to everybody here. Good morning, New Thought, Philadelphia. Ah, we are here on Zoom. Thank you for everybody who's having this kickoff of summer weekend and spending Sunday morning here. There's so many distractions, so many things going on. Could be getting ready for a barbecue or gardening and a barbecue, or for me, it's wedding weekend. So I did a wedding yesterday. I'm doing another wedding today. And it's just the brides are blossoming. So you guys know the rules for when we're on Zoom. Leave yourself muted except when we're going to be sharing. And let's go ahead and do some sharing now. We can make a noise together. Go ahead and unmute and repeat after me. I open myself to love.
I open
I open
myself to
myself to
love.
love.
I open myself to joy.
I open
I
I
myself
open
open
to
myself to
myself
joy.
to
joy.
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 I open myself to a fabulous day today.
I
I
open
I
open
open
myself to a
myself
myself
to a
to a
fabulous day
fabulous
fabulous
day
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 today.
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 And I know love is right here, right now.
And
And
I
I know
know
love
And
is
his
And
right
love
here,
love
love
right
is
is
now.
right
is
right
right
here,
here,
right
now.
right
now.
now.
And so it
It
is.
And
And
is.
so it
so
is.
it is.
So on
So
your
it
mark,
is.
get set, mute. I will remind you that New Thought Philadelphia is an open and loving community of spiritual adventurers, welcoming each person to experience their divine nature in an empowering space of unconditional love. Whatever path you've been on, whatever brought you here today, wherever you're heading next, we've been expecting you, and welcome home. We believe there is one power, love, intelligence, or force that creates everything, including each of us, and that we're each using that same one power, love, intelligence, or force to create our lives according to our beliefs. Today, we're going to be talking about practitioners and how practitioners can help us to use that same power, love, intelligence to create our next experience of life. And the way we like to say it around here, for short, is your new life begins with a new thought. If you have extraneous electronic devices that may run the risk of distracting you in the next hour or so, go ahead and put them on shush or put them out in the next room so that we can focus on each other today. I am Bill Marchiony, Spiritual Director at New Thought Philadelphia. Our music today is Jami Lula, who is on the West Coast and has a full day of Memorial Day weekend activities planned. So delighted that you are with us today. And we got the Practitioner Core here today as well for prayers and for intention setting and for meditations. Right now, Jesus Baez and his virtual background, who are in Puerto Rico. You don't need a virtual background when you're in Puerto Rico. He can't turn it off though, because he's got the beach background in real life. But Jesus is going to open us with a practical prayer.
Okay, Rev, I got it. I got it here.
Now we can hear you.
Don't fear. I'm here. Um, and so each one of us walking each other home. Home is the kingdom. Home is the inner. That's where we live and move and have our being. Meditation at its purest is the highest form of prayer. And at its best is the foretaste of heaven joy. So as we bow our hearts, also you could bow your head, your knees, whichever position you want to be, but be right there, here and now. This day that Spirit has created. Let's rejoice and be glad in it. It's wonderful. It's a blessing, an honor to be here this morning together with my brothers and sisters, walking each other home. For those that want to renew their strength, we are one with Spirit. We will fly like an eagle. We will walk each other home and not get tired. We will run to this home and not get weary. Through the music, through the meditation, to the talk, to the sharing, this day is Spirit unfolding, expressing himself, always in the highest form. We open ourselves to Spirit because the truth is always knocking. He stands at the door and knock. We open our doors, be flexible, be open. He will sup with us and we with him. That was the dinner of eternity here and now. I'm so grateful for this opportunity to be here, not only to be here in the flesh, but most important, be here in the spirit. For the word of God today saturated this Zoom meeting with love, peace, unity, freedom, balance, and power. And the harmonious state where we at right now, it flourished to the surface, where we could see with our eyes, not only with the spirit eyes, but with our earthly eyes. For that's how truth and faith grows in our life here and now. We have a little bit like a mustard seed and let it go in the ground of that infinite fertile ground. I know we're going to see the trees, we're going to see the fruit about what they say labor, but it's our calmness, our smoothness, peacefulness, poise. That's where we live at. That's who we are. So with gratitude in my heart, I let this prayer go, leave, stay in that purity of ground where all things are possible. And with gratitude in my heart and love, I say thank you to the law of being, the creative law, the one law, the law that is, they say servant, but I would say partner, where we could go not with so much pleading, but with calmness and love. That's how everything works. Love, let that love come through your eyes, through your heart. And let the celebration is what it is, a celebration of joy. And I let it go, and so it is. So it be. Thank you.
So it is. Thank you, Jesus. Yeah, so the reason that we do a prayer is A, because it's fun, or B, because it creates a new experience in our lives. Well, if you get A, that's wonderful, but the real reason is B. It's because it creates a new experience in our lives. So this is the time when we get to share. If we've been praying for something and it's been showing up, we get to let the community know what's going on with that. So anybody have a prayer work story to share? Breen, go ahead.
It's kind of a tag team. I don't know if Jane's going to want to weigh in on this or not, but yesterday morning, we were getting ready for the day. We had a lot of stuff going on, and we had a barbecue to go to yesterday. We got a pool party today. I was going to make a fruit salad for the pool party, and I wanted to get the stuff early so it can sit in the fridge and chill, but wasn't sure if I could get it tonight or anyway. So Jane was going to go to this produce place called Gentili's. It's about 20 minutes away. And she's like, oh, I don't know how crowded it's going to, I don't know what it's going to be like on Saturday or Memorial Day weekend. And I said, whoa, wait a minute. I know what it's going to be like. It's going to be an easy and effortless, awesome shopping experience. All things are going to work together. And she got a parking spot, got in, got out. I'll let her tell the rest of it. But it was just in that, she's like, oh, I don't know what it's going to be like. And I'm like, I know what it's going to be like. It's going to be an awesome and easy shopping experience.
Yes, I did get there and I got a spot right up front.
And that's
It
the
was
wonderful
perfect.
thing. When we get ourselves into this awareness, this consciousness, we can look, as we say, a fact in the face and know something better. Yeah, is it possible for there to be just a whole bunch of nonsense on a holiday weekend? Yep. Does it have to apply to me? Nope. And as Jane experienced, you get the front parking space, you're in, you're out. The fruit salad unfolds as divine perfection. Cool. Anybody else got a story to share? All right. So in that case, Jesus does. Go ahead, Jesus.
Yeah, I might say this. It's a week ago, but it's a something healing, revealing of the truth. On Sunday, I got up. I couldn't hardly. My shoulder was like at night. I couldn't move. So I think something tear or something, right? Of course I did a prayer, but I got to move my feet also. So when I got up, it was so bad. I was thinking going to the emergency. But what I did, I put a healing patch, let it go for 8 hours, put some Bengay, took a couple of pain pills, Tylenols, did some prayer, went to sleep. The next day, it was resurrection. I was like a new man. I went to the gym and everything.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
Thank you.
Sure. The power's in the prayer, the power's in the pill. So whatever the combination is that you're guided to, it's a
That's right.
wonderful thing. There we go. All right. Everybody's got a kazoo. Bring it to the ready. And we're going to welcome in Hannah, who is going to do the announcements.
This summer starting information is on our website at newthoughtphilly.org and in our weekly e-newsletter. Please sign up on the website so we can keep in touch. We host 15-minute meditations on Zoom twice a day. If you haven't taken part lately, Zoom in this week. They're inspiring, fun, and quick. Monday, Wednesday, and Friday mornings this week are also on Insight Timer Live. Registration is open for the Cutting the Cord workshop with Reverend Michelle Wadley after the celebration on Sunday, June 9th at Balzer. You'll gain a greater awareness of how your life experiences get created and access to choices that free you, on-site or online. Invite your friends to join us for My Religion, None of the Above. It's an introductory session for people who are spiritual but not religious to explore some of the ideas, paths, and practices that can help us connect with our spiritual selves. On Zoom, Thursday, June 13th at 7 p.m. Episode 153 of Reverend Bill's Practical Prayer Podcast is What We Resist Persists. Listen wherever you get your podcasts. There is no live session on Memorial Day. The Personal Practitioner class that begins in the fall will boost your spiritual practice to the next level. Contact Reverend Bill to see what you need to do to be ready. There is no obligation to continue to professional training in year 2. Follow, subscribe, like, and share our social media on Instagram, Facebook, Insight Timer, and YouTube. Join the 1,819 spiritual adventurers in our group on meetup.com. The Power of 8 Intention Circle meets on Zoom every Monday at 6:30. All are invited to join us tomorrow for this powerful group spiritual practice. We are always grateful for your financial support. You can make a tax-deductible donation by Zelle, Cash App, check, PayPal, Venmo, credit, or debit card. Thank you to the team that makes our celebration work and has fun doing it. To join the joy, contact Reverend Bill. And I just want to talk a little bit more about what being a part of the team means. It's like pretty easy, low stress if you have the time and want to be a part of the service. You can read the announcements like I'm doing. You can do the Flames of Faith. You can do the reading. You can do online greeting that starts like 15 minutes before the service. If you're doing the reading, one of the practitioners will get it to you. You don't have to come up with it yourself. We have a quick rehearsal that starts at 9:30 Eastern time, lasts maybe like 15-20 minutes, and then you can go and come back for the service. So if anybody is interested in joining, let Reverend Bill know. Next Sunday is online with I Want to Be Happy. Reverend Bill delves into the nuance of the way we word what we want and the experience of life that comes about. Live original music by the beautiful Brittany Ann Chan. The practitioners are available for professional sessions by appointment. After the celebration, the practitioners are available for a quick miracle in a minute prayer. We'll leave the Zoom meeting open after the celebration for a casual conversation.
Thank you, Hannah. That's nicely phrased. And I just want to throw in one more thing about the being as part of the presentation team. We do the get together and pray in and rehearse very briefly, just kind of a run through at 9:30, but it's fun. We have a good time, and you get to hear the musician ahead of time, and you get to check in a little bit with the folks who are here. So if you're called to do that, like I said, there's a button on the website. You can send an email about becoming a volunteer or reach out to me, and we will make all of that happen. So this is the time when we talk about the gifts that we give to the people who are with us for the second time. We have some pens and keychain flashlights, which have lasted much longer than we thought they were going to when we bought them in 2019, just because getting together and handing stuff to people hasn't been so much of a thing. We will be in person on the 9th of June. Michelle Wadley is going to be coming down and doing the talk in person for us. We also have a blessing for our first-time visitors. I don't see anybody who is here for the first time, so let us bless each other. So go ahead and rub your hands together. Feel warm. Gets to be Memorial Day weekend. the warmth doesn't feel quite as spectacular as it does in February. Feel that warmth, feel the love, send that out, share it. Acknowledge that we are the bright light of God's love. We are the way that that light, that love is revealing itself in the world. And thank you, thank you, thank you, and welcome home. Jami's going to sing another song for us, and as he does, let's go ahead and if you can switch into gallery view so you can see everybody we're together with, you can do that. If you're on a device, you can scroll through and see the folks. So, go ahead, Jami.
Hey everybody, come on down. Hey everybody, gather around. Hey everybody, bring a friend, pick up a pen. Hey everybody, come and help me sing. All are welcome here, lay your burdens down. All are welcome here, we're on hallowed ground. All are welcome here, we'll break our bread with you. All are welcome here, help you find your truth. All are welcome here, sing it with me now, everybody sing. All are welcome here, everybody. All are welcome here. All are welcome here. Everybody, come on down. Hey, everybody, gather around. Hey, everybody, bring a friend. Hey, everybody, come and help me sing. All are welcome here, lay your burdens down. All are welcome here, we're on hallowed ground. All are welcome here, we'll break our bread with you. All are welcome here, help you find your truth. All are welcome here. All are welcome here, everybody. All are welcome here. All are welcome here. One more time, everybody now. All are welcome here. Stop Philly, baby, now. All are welcome here. Sing it out, sing it out, sing it out. Bring all are welcome here. All are welcome right here.
Thank you, Jami Lula. We were doing the sound check this morning, and there was a hum. So Jami said, "Oh, I got to get a different guitar chord." So I got a different guitar chord. We tried something else. The levels were a little. He said, "Ah, I got to get a different guitar." And I said, "You don't have another musician there to swap out too, do you?" I'm
Go get my
glad you made
wife.
it. Yeah,
Thank
wonderful
you,
having
Bill.
you, Jami. So we're going to light the flames of faith now, and Scopy is going to read for us.
Good morning, everybody. We perform this ceremony to acknowledge that all people and all faiths come from the one power, love, intelligence, which we all call spirit or God. We honor the richness that comes from our shared diversity and bless the interwoven energy of the divine feminine and masculine. We light the first candle for the Tao, honoring the universal path of harmony and equilibrium, the natural way. We light the second candle for the earth-based traditions, honoring the beliefs and practices of all indigenous people, the way of primal spirituality. We light the third candle for Hinduism, honoring the path of knowledge, action, and devotion. We light the fourth candle for Judaism, honoring the ethical path of living by sacred law. We light the fifth candle for all forms of Buddhism, honoring the Four Noble Truths and the path of compassion. We light the sixth candle for all forms of Christianity, honoring the Christ consciousness as the path of love. We light the seventh candle for all forms of Islam, honoring the path of submission to the will of God as the highest calling. We light the eighth candle for the universalistic religion of Baha'i, honoring the path of unity and peace. And we light the ninth candle for all forms of New Thought, honoring the metaphysical path of mental healing through the practice of universal spiritual principles. As we light the healing candle, please put silently into the light the names of anyone or any place you wish to have experienced the healing flame of God's eternal love.
Blessed be. Thank you, Scopy. The reading today comes from the Anton, the first Anton compilation, New Thoughts for Today. And I say first because the second volume is in final production now and will be released early this summer. So we got another one coming. This one is from page 132, and Jane is going to share with us.
Good morning. So this reading is entitled Creating in Oneness. And I'm going to open with the quote from Swami Vivekananda. All differences in this world are of degree and not of kind, because oneness is the secret of everything. Oneness, connection, non-separateness. When listening to current events, how easy it is to forget this concept, since God is the only thing that exists. The physical universe was created by and out of God. God is the maker, the made, the material used to make. Because we are here, it is only safe to assume that God made us out of God, causing us to be divine in our own right. We are manifestations of the One. It's all very logical and easy to understand when looked at this way. We are taught in this philosophy that we are creators of our own lives. Carrying this out to its logical conclusion, we are God creating more stuff out of God. The key is to know this and fully understand it. Otherwise, we are creating chaos because the power of creation is active, whether or not we understand it. Without this understanding, we create scarcity, fear, and enmity. We are in a continual state of creation with every thought. That's why the religions tell us to pray without ceasing, to keep our minds constantly on God, to look up. Create your own abundance and courage and love. Go crazy. Imagine the best and then multiply that by 1,000. You can have it if only you believe it. When you thrive, others thrive. Trust me, it's contagious. I am connected to the creative thread of the universe and am bursting with abundance.
Jamie?
Get thee to a practitioner. When I was younger, so much younger than today, I never needed any help in any way. But now those days are gone and I'm not so self-assured. Now I find I've changed my mind, I've opened up the door. Won't you help me if you can? I'm feeling down, and I do appreciate you being around. Help me get my feet back on the ground. Won't you please help me? And now my life has changed in so many ways. My independence to vanish in the haze. Every now and then, you know, I feel so insecure. I know that I need you like I never done before. Oh, won't you help me if you can? I'm feeling down, and I do appreciate you all coming around. Help me get my feet back on the ground. Won't you believe? Oh, help me. Help me. Help me. Oh, help me. When I was younger, so much younger than today, I never needed any help in any way. Oh, but now those days are gone, and I'm not so self-assured. Now I find I changed my mind. You know, I opened up the doors. Oh, won't you help me if you can? I'm feeling down, and I do appreciate y'all coming around. Help me get my feet back on the ground. Lord, won't you please help me? Won't you help me? Help me. Reach out a helping hand and help me. And all the children sing, help me right where I am right now. Help me, oh Lord, help me. I said, help me.
Wow. Thank you, Jamie Lula. Oh man, that was great. That was, and so different. So different as well. So as Jamie mentioned, get thee to a practitioner. That's the title of the talk today, and I'm going to share it with the other practitioners here at New Thought Philadelphia. And the reason is because practitioners and what practitioners do is so fundamental to this teaching, because at its core, New Thought is a healing practice. And the practitioners are going to be perhaps sharing some stories about work that they've done with clients that have brought about some transformation and healing. We'll get a chance to share stories in a little bit. But I want to go over that. First of all, we are healing teaching, and we always have been, and that's kind of the foundation of this. The original philosophical ideas behind what is now New Thought came from Ralph Waldo Emerson. He wrote The Oversoul and some other essays, and it was all about there is one power and presence that creates everything. And it was very inspiring and uplifting and illuminating, and didn't tell anybody how to do it. So 50 years later, a fellow by the name of Phineas Parkhurst Quimby up in New England worked out a technique for what he thought of as mental healing, where he would encounter somebody who had an illness, a disease, an injury, or something, and through the use of his mental faculties, would bring about a transformation, a healing. And the first experience that he had actually was when he was a kid. He had tuberculosis, and he cured himself of tuberculosis, which was a pretty big thing. And there were other examples of people who he worked with and the transformation that got brought about. One of the patients who he healed was Murray Baker Eddy, who became the founder of Christian Science, which is another healing teaching. It's all about healing through prayer. And after that, Christian Science went in a different direction, and New Thought went in the direction that we've gone in. And we've continued to work on the techniques of healing and the practice of healing. And the idea is that you can change your thinking and change your life. And that's a wonderful way of phrasing it. However, changing your thinking is really difficult because the thoughts that we have are the thoughts that we have. What we really mean by that is change your beliefs and change your life. And the quote that we hear, and it's in scripture, is it is done unto you as you believe, or as a man believeth, so it is done unto him. And it is all about our belief. So it's not what I say I want to have happen in my life, and it's not what I'm claiming I want to have happen in my life, and it's not even what I'm what I'm advocating for. The experience of my life is based on the beliefs that I have about what my experience of life is going to be. And sometimes we're aware of what we believe. And sometimes we think we believe one thing, but we actually believe something different. We call those hidden beliefs. And the interesting thing is that it's not what we claim we believe, it's what we actually believe. The hidden beliefs are operative. And they can come from all sorts of places. They can come from things that we erroneously learned when we were younger. There can be stuff that we were taught. It can be stuff that comes from our culture. Everybody believes this has always been true. One of the examples that I use is running a 4-minute mile. It was impossible. Nobody could run a 4-minute mile until Roger Bannister did. And now hundreds and hundreds of people have run a 4-minute mile because the belief changed. He believed he could do it. He did it. And that opened the way for other people to believe that it could be done. And our beliefs are held in our subconscious. So when we're doing our prayer work, when we're doing our practical prayers, our spiritual mind treatments, we are working with our intellect and our mentality. But what we're doing is we are influencing our subconscious beliefs. So what we believe down here, and it's subconscious. That means that we're not conscious of them. It's kind of goes without saying, although I think I needed to say it. So what we believe is in our subconscious, below the level of our conscious awareness. And because we're not aware of it, it turns out that there's only one subconscious. There's one intelligence, one law that's responding to everybody's beliefs. And because it's below the level of our individual awareness, we're all sharing it. It is one subconscious. That's the one mind that we're talking about. When I set a new intention, when I do a prayer and move that infinite creative power that's creating something new to create something in my life, it's that subconscious. It's that infinite creative power and presence that's making the change happen. That's when we say that there's one mind, that's what we're talking about. And I do this to set up the conversation about practitioners, because what practitioner is somebody who has gone through extensive training to clear their own consciousness, because it's really important to know what our buttons are, what our issues are, because otherwise what happens is if somebody comes to me as a practitioner with an issue and they start telling me about the challenge that they're having in their life, if I haven't cleared through my own issues with that particular aspect of life, I'm going to react to them and respond to them and act as though they have the same issue that I have. So basically what we're going to be doing is praying for ourselves and ignoring what the client needs. So that's the magic of the first year of practitioner training, is we clear out the debris in our subconscious so we're clear about who it is that we are. And in the second year of practitioner training, we learn how to do prayer for other people. And there's a definite process about being able to get together with somebody, open in prayer, invite them into consciousness, listen to their story, and have the story not be about the drama of the stuff that's going on in their life, but about the beliefs that are behind them. And we get to dive into whatever their beliefs are, hidden beliefs, leftover childhood beliefs, things that they learned from as when they were kids, things that everybody always has known, stuff that are just part of the assumptions, things that are baked in. We look for the awareness of what's going on there and then offer up a new possibility. And then the prayer is for that new possibility unfolding. Working with a practitioner is using that one mind, that one infinite subconscious. But instead of getting to it through our own conscious mind, we get to it through the practitioner's mind. We're renting their consciousness. We are renting their hiring their conscious awareness because they don't have our baggage. They don't necessarily have all the same stuff and beliefs about what's possible or not possible that we have. So when we're working with a practitioner, they're not limited by the stuff that we think is possible. They understand that anything is possible, and that's where they're working. So now we get to tell some stories about practitioners, and I'm going to make these as anonymous as possible. It's possible that you'll recognize the people in some of the stories just because these are some things that we've been talking about for a while. There was a fellow, he was my client, and this was quite a while ago, gay, in a committed relationship and living his life and having a good time. And some friends of his, a lesbian couple, wanted to have a baby. And so they came to him and they asked if he would be interested in being the donor for their baby. And he thought, oh, that'd be cool. I had no plans on being a father himself. So he participated in that process. And it worked. And one of the moms became pregnant. And the idea was that they would adopt the baby and he would go have his life and they would go have their life and everything would be fine. And during that time, it just didn't set well with him because he had never considered the possibility that he could be a father. But now here's this thing, but he's made this commitment because, of what the other couple was doing. And so the prayer work that we did was on this unfolding as love, for this to be an opportunity for love to reveal itself in a more richer, fuller, uh, vibrant way than anybody had previously thought possible. And between the time that we did the prayer and the time that the baby was born, they had come to the realization that they really wanted to have a father there. And so he was invited to not just be part of raising the kid, but they wound up finding a house where both couples and the kid could live together. And they moved in together. And then they had another kid. And life continues to unfold. And they're still together. They're moving into a different house. Still, he with the lesbian couple. The first fetus is going to college next year. And his little brother is doing great as well. And it is an opportunity to do something that completely transcends what he thought was possible. Fast, rewind back to the beginning of the story. Never considered the possibility that any of this could happen, and it is continuing to unfold. So those are the sorts of transformations that can happen. We also have transformations of healing. Of somebody who is facing a surgery where they're told, no, we can't do the surgery because you're not well enough and it's not going to work. And there's the possibility of this. Or one particular client I was working with had actually coded on the table during the same, very similar surgery previously. And so the prayer was not just to be able to have this surgery, as a hip replacement, not just to have this surgery done, but to have it go as smoothly as possible with everything fitting together perfectly. And that's exactly what happened. So we left behind all of the doubt and all of this belief, open to that new possibility, and it unfolded. So I'm going to ask if any of the practitioners have a story of working with a client that you'd like to share. Just go ahead and unmute and tell a story, because I can keep going forever.
I've got one that I can tell quickly. I was working with a client who was having concerns about a work situation. There was some scheduling and timing and some requirements that could impact her employment. And she was like, it's not gonna, she just couldn't see how all this stuff would fit together in the timeline that she needed. She was telling me the story and I'm like, that's easy. She's like, oh, what is it? I'm like, well, I have no idea what it is. I just know that it's easy because it's all going to come together with ease and grace. And I just knew that instantly that it didn't matter. All that stuff didn't matter. And we had the prayer and the session was over. And a couple of days later, she calls me. You won't believe what happened. I'm like, yeah, I will. And it all worked out perfectly. Everything fell right into place. So, and it was just, I just very distinctly remember going, that's easy. Because I knew it was just like, I saw right through all the stuff just to the truth that it was all going to work out. I knew in my heart, without a doubt, that it was going to work out. So there's one.
Yeah. And that's an example of how it works. I was working with another client who was having financial struggles, and we dove into the story, like what's going on with this? Because um, understand what the financial struggles were, and trying to find a job that could support what she was going to be doing, getting a little bit older, didn't necessarily want to be working for somebody else all the time and running around. Had a very successful career in the advertising business previously, living lots of places and high-level meetings and so forth. And got into the conversation, and while going into her experience, what made the belief system happen, um, she'd been experiencing what she called feast or famine. So things would be fabulous, and there's plenty of money and plenty of resource and all this stuff going on, and then everything would go away, and there'd be struggling and pinching pennies. And her parents, when she was growing up, had been in the real estate business. And when they sold a house, there was plenty. So it was the steak and lobster for dinner. And when they didn't sell a house, then it was maybe tuna noodle casserole for dinner. And that was the way that she grew up. And so my observation was, you're not a failure, because she was feeling like a failure because she kept on running into this financial struggle in her life, and it would seem to be great, and then it would all collapse. She felt like a failure. I said, you're not a failure. You learn feast or famine from your family of origin. That was the model that you learned. You learned perfectly. You are doing an excellent job of executing on a really bad program. So the prayer that we did was for her to adopt a new program and to open to the prosperity and the richness, and that it could be as good as she wanted it to be. And not a few months later, a friend of hers was moving into a different city and said, "Oh, by the way, I don't have anybody to take over my business. Would you like it?" And she said, "Yeah." And she's not only taken over that business and done well with the business, but it's growing and it's thriving. And because of that change, she's now working on a new model. And those possibilities are open to all of us. So, and especially when we can't see it, when we don't know, I'm running the wrong program. We can work with a practitioner, somebody who can come in and say, well, what's really going on? Where are those beliefs coming from? And do we need to keep them? And then do the prayer work to set the intention to invite in a new experience. And then we're off to the races. Any other practitioners have a story that you'd like to share?
I do.
Go ahead, Joe.
So I can tell this from the perspective of needing a practitioner and as well as being a practitioner. Because I think as I looked at the timeline, I have a feeling that the time that I needed the practitioner set me up to go to practitioner study. So I needed orthopedic surgery in 2016, and as a nurse, I was absolutely terrified. I had enough experiences with orthopedic surgeons that I wasn't too crazy about, and as well as knowing all of the problems that could come up. And I also knew how successful it could be, but for some reason I could not see that. I could only see, I'd rather have open heart surgery than have orthopedic surgery. But at any rate, I did a lot of work on it. I was just be a basket case. But I worked with a little bit with Reverend Bill and Reverend Dave when he was with New Thought, and I was able to redirect what I saw. And it reminds me of, when you break a bone, you need to wear a cast, you need to use a walker, you need to lean on something else for a while. And then you don't need it anymore. So I needed to lean on somebody else's sureness and conviction and belief that everything was going to be fine. And I was able to do that. And then I noticed how much easier it is to do the prayer for someone else, because you don't have all that stuff. You don't have that bias. And when I don't recall anything specific that I did with a client as a practitioner. I don't remember specific outcomes, but I do remember how sure I feel when I'm doing that prayer for them, or for anyone, that I really feel completely 100% sure that this is love unfolding. This is going to be absolutely fine, because I don't have the limitation that they have. So that's about it.
Thank you, Joe. Thank you. Yeah, and I have a bunch of other stories about clients who I've worked with. Some of them single sessions, and that's one of the differences between working with a practitioner and working with a therapist is we're going to talk about some of the same stories, but we don't need to understand the detail of the story. We need to understand the belief that was engendered by the story, and then we can work on that. I have a remarkable string of clients who I've worked with and done one session, and then the next time I talk to them, it's like, oh yeah, that's not an issue anymore. That's all taken care of. And it's all sorts of different directions that can go in. One of them, I was multiple sessions that we did. We just decided to do one of those well visit things. And partway through, we came to the realization that this very successful, very effective woman had a belief left over from childhood that she's just a little girl who doesn't deserve any of the good that she's thinking could be hers. Broke free of that, and just, spectacular stuff happens. We've had people who are creating new businesses, people who are dealing with the potential loss of a pet and not knowing how they're going to be able to handle that, and opening up a space for whatever's going to be happening to happen, and for peace of mind to be unfolding as well. See, Jesus has a story. Go ahead, Jesus.
Yes, can you hear me all right there? But it's a little bit here.
Yep.
Okay. Yeah. What I consider like a practitioner, something like that, it's like driving 18-wheeler. It's all of us driving an 18-wheeler in our journey of life. And we have some blind spots. So when most of the times, when I'm doing a treatment or when people come to me, I see always put in the prayer clarity, because as a practitioner, you want your client to bring their own solution. I'm just pointing the spots where they could say, before I was blind, now I could see. And it also helps me because when I'm doing the treatment, I treat first for myself. I get that beam out of my eye so I could take out the little speck out of their eyes. And always the next day, they will call me and say, oh, I got it. So that's when I know the prayer worked, because they came with their own solution in that clarity stage. And it takes a prayer, because something spiritual, because that's where we live. And a lot of times we're more concerned with our physical, our material, emotional, and feeling needs than our spiritual needs. And we let it go instead of, I would say, speaking with a practitioner. It could be anybody, but speaking with somebody that got that spiritual open concept of things, even of God, for just point, because everybody have them. Everybody have their little blind spot. And that's what Reverend Bill was talking about, the hidden belief. Those are hidden beliefs that we have and we don't know it, because even the truth got to be recognized, and a lot of times we want to live in the form of a lie and come into the truth, because that the old saying say, the truth hurts, and sometimes we don't want to know it. We want to deny it, ignore it, but it's there, So like I said, it's always good to deal with today than the sorrows of tomorrow. you know? So yeah, that's what I wanted to share. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Jesus. Thank you. And practitioner training is it's three 10-week set series. We're going to be starting in the fall if you're interested in doing that. It does not require a commercial driver license. You don't need to do 16 forward speeds and double clutching. So in a lot of ways, it's easier than some other training could be. And the idea behind here is get thee to a practitioner. If there is anything that you think could be transformational in your life, then contact one of the practitioners. We'll put the contact information into the Zoom chat again. Do a 3-minute miracle. And that's not the full session that I'm talking about. That's like the quick triage, what's going on for me. And in some cases, we're going to say, we need to do some work together. Because in that miracle in a minute session that we do, it's basically you come in and say, this is what I want you to pray for, and we pray. When we do a session, it's like, what's going on for you? What has brought you to this experience of life? And what's the experience you'd rather be having instead? And we have that time and that leisure, that flexibility to dive in and understand what the belief system might have been up until now. What's the experience we want to have instead, and where the change is. And then that becomes the foundation for the prayer. So get thee to a practitioner. Have transformation in your life. Let love unfold, because that is the good that you are deserving right here, right now, and always. So it is. Jami, Lula, one more song?
What if it's true? You have everything you need. What if it's true? You could live your wildest dreams. Will you run and hide or go along for the ride? Test the current to tide in the ocean of possibilities. What if you knew? What if you knew? What if you knew that the brilliance you're mining is you? What if you knew? What if you knew that the infinite's thriving is you? What if it's true that there's never need for shame? What if it's true that there's power in your pain? Will you run and hide or go along for the ride? Test the current and tide in the ocean of possibilities. What if you knew? What if you knew? What if you knew that the brilliance you're mining is you? What if you knew? What if you knew that the infinite's thriving is you? Shadow and light, the yin and the yang are all part of you. The past is the past, we all make mistakes. It isn't sure true. What if you knew? What if you knew? What if you knew that the brilliance you're mining is you? What if you knew? What if you knew that the infinite's thriving is you? What if you knew? What if you knew that your soul's so much larger than you? What if you knew? What if you knew your design is divine? Yes, it's true. What if you knew? What if you knew? Oh, what if you knew? What if you knew? What if you knew?
Thank you, Jamie. That kind of helped me solidify what we can go into meditation with. Sometimes we need a little help to know. We can't see the bacteria unless we use a microscope. Doesn't mean it's not there. We just can't see it. We can with a little help from the microscope, or a lot of help. We know there's billions of stars out there in the galaxy. We can't see all of them unless we use a telescope. Doesn't mean we're not there. They're not there. We just can't see them. So we all have blind spots. And I know from experience that when you're only looking at the shadow, it's really, really hard to take your focus off of it. But as Reverend Dr. Bill Marchiony used to say, or still says, when you're looking at the shadow, it means the light's behind you, pivot. And I can't tell you how many times I've used that to pivot. You have to be really clear with your intention. Describe it, define it, imagine it, picture it, paint it, embellish it, and then say, and 10% more. This or something better. So let's take a few moments to go into the silence and think about that. Think about that intention. Think about what you want, and think about that 10% more. And look for your blind spots. See what comes up when you can't imagine it, because that's your blind spot, or they're your blind spots. And if all we do today is identify the blind spot, we've really done something. Get comfortable in your chair. Take a deep breath. Sit up straight, whatever you need to do to release and let go. Take 3 slow, deep breaths. Abdominal breathing. Breathe in. Hold it at the top. And release. One more deep breath. Hold it. And release. One more deep breath. Hold it. And release. And use that telescope or use that microscope to find out what's holding you back, so that you can identify and release them and open up to something much better.
Today is the gift of life. All of yesterday's, the mistakes of yesterday, they call it under water under the bridge. That's why yesterday, with all the accomplishment you had done, it's history. Tomorrow, it's a mystery. Today is the gift of life. That's why we call it the present moment. We could see today with clarity because we are guided by that divine light, which is in us, through us, around us. It is us. It is God expressing himself through us. That light, that eternal flame, where we dwell in the secret place of the Most Highest, abiding by the shadow of the Almighty. We pivot, and the light is beaming in us. And we let that light shine all around us, in us. Because we are the God expression, sometimes disguising in different forms. But we are all one. That's why we share our divinity with each other. Share that wisdom, that love, that peace, that oneness. And as we embrace this truth, always with flexibility and an open heart. But that's it, what meditation and prayer is all about. Meditation is simply prayer without words. Prayer of the soul, the heart, and the mind. It's like God speaking through the tongue of the spirit and hearing him answer with the ears of the soul. Intuition, that small voice, still a small voice, where we could hear it in the silence of the night and in the noise in the day. It's always audible to our ears because we have cultivated, we have preserved it in our soul. We embrace this truth, these words, chew on them with the mouth of your heart, of your soul, the spirit. And take another deep breath in. Let it go. Move your shoulders a little bit. Some people can move their ears a little bit. That's wonderful. And bring back your attention into this great Zoom celebration as Jami sing this beautiful song for each one of us. Hit it, Jami.
I feel you everywhere I go. I feel you in everyone I know. I feel you, and in your love I grow. I feel you, I feel you, closer than my hands or feet, nearer than my heart or the breath I breathe. You ask me, what do I believe? In me, as me, through me, use me as you need. Oh, I feel you everywhere I go. I feel you in everyone I know. I feel you in your love I grow. I feel you. I feel you. I know you're in my heart and soul. And dancing with the Spirit makes me feel whole. I'm never separate from you. Imbue me with the strength and spirit to be true. I feel you everywhere I go, and I feel you in everyone I know. I feel you, and in your love I grow. I feel you, I feel you, I feel you everywhere I go. And I feel you in everyone I know. And I feel you, and with your love I grow. I feel you, I feel you.
Thank you, Jamie. Thank you, thank you, thank you. There's that cable again. So this is brings us up to the part of the celebration where if there's something that's come up for you that you want to give voice to, go ahead and do that. We've had some stories from practitioners about creating a new space and inviting in a new experience. So if anybody else have something that you want to share, go ahead and wave your hand, and we will fit it in. Jane.
Yeah, so I mean, practical prayer does work, and working with practitioners is great. You get results. I mean, I was thinking of Max, my son. No better example, getting his perfect job, finding the perfect woman, getting married, buying a house. It's like all those things. He just never believed he could have those things at some point. And so he did some practical prayer with you, Bill, and he, he's on such a good track now. And so, it works, really works with relationships, with everything. So, yeah.
Yeah. Thank you, Jane. Thank you. Anybody else? I'm going to turn it right back around. Oh, go ahead, Delia.
So I just wonder if it's possible to be kind of a natural born practitioner. I mean, I kind of have this experience with my sister who seems to like everything she touches seems to go well for everybody. She's like the family practitioner in a way, even though she's not particularly spiritual. She just has such an optimism that things are going to go well, and everything, I mean, for the most part, went well in her life. And just recently, I needed to get cataract surgery, and I decided early on that I would get two different opinions. And I got the first one, and the guy said, well, I don't think you're a good candidate for the multifocal lenses, and they're too expensive anyway. So, we'll just go with the standard one. And I was really disappointed about that. And I tried to go to the second opinion, and my appointment kept getting canceled. And I said, oh, forget it. I'll just stick with this. And then I talked to my sister, and she goes, well, what happened to the other opinion? And I said, well, I just kind of got tired of getting canceled. She said, well, go find someone else. And I did that. I went to somebody who seems really, really very good. And he did some very thorough testing. And he said, your eyes look great. You have no reason to not do really well with the advanced lenses. So I'm scheduled in June, and I hope that I won't need glasses anymore after that.
There we go.
And
Perfect.
like I kind of lost that idea in my mind, and she put it back in really, really well. So things turned out, so far things are going to be good, I think. So
I think the things that have every possibility of being as good as you can possibly imagine, and as your sister would point out, 10% better. And and yeah, as you know, as I mentioned at the beginning of the celebration, you know, our ability as a practitioner is to look a fact in the face and know something better. And if somebody does that intuitively and automatically, somebody comes to them with a sad story, it's like, oh, wait a second, there's something else that's possible. You don't need to do the practitioner training. And if you're Delia's sister, then you don't probably need to come to practitioner training. But if you're not, then maybe you do. So still leave open that possibility.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Thank you.
thank you, Delia. Hana, you got the offering for us.
All right, I've never been. Apparently, it has no effect on flies.
New Thought Philadelphia is all about spreading the love. Our community is supported by your contributions. The gift you share helps fund our work in the world, and the way you shine your light spreads the love. We are grateful for every way you share. We don't have a basket today, but there's a donate button on the website to make a donation by Zelle, credit card, PayPal, Cash App, or Venmo. You can also mail a check to our office in Ardmore. The offering affirmation is on the screen. Unmute and we'll say the affirmation together. I live in an
Live in an
abundant
abundant
universe.
universe.
I am one
with the infinite source of all
Source of
good.
all good.
Good.
I am
a
a center of conscious
conscious
prosperity.
I enjoy the richness of life.
I
I
bless
Bless
my
my
gift.
gift.
I
my
share
gift.
my
share
gift
my
with
gift with
gratitude.
gratitude.
Enjoy.
I know
I
that
know
as
that
I
as I
give,
give,
do
I do receive.
and so it is.
So it
And
is.
so it is. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Jamie, Lula, one more song before you go off and do a whole weekend's worth of stuff this afternoon.
Unmuted. There we go. What's your gospel gonna be? Living in bondage or free? What's your gospel gonna be? Gotta write a new one for me. Blaming those who knocked me down, or give them thanks for being around. Stories I have told, letting go of the old, yeah. What's your gospel gonna be? Living in bondage or free? What's your gospel gonna be? Yeah. I gotta write a new one for blessing moments of my shame, I'm making dust out of my pain, calming waters I have stormed, a walk where love has been born. Yeah, yeah, yeah. What's your gospel gonna be? Living in bondage or free? What's your gospel gonna be? Yeah, living in bondage or free? Yeah, love my neighbor as myself. Rush right in when you cry for help. Give my gifts and share my wealth. Am I willing to forgive myself? What's your gospel gonna be? Living in bondage or free? What's your gospel gonna be? I gotta write a new one for me. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Gotta write a new one for me. Gotta write a new one for me. Got to write your gospel, people. Gotta write a new one for me. What's your gospel gonna be?
Thank you, Jamie, Lula. Thank you so much. Thank you to the practitioners. Thank you to everybody who is sharing. Thank you for everybody who has been part of this celebration. I love it. I am so grateful. Let us close with another joyous cacophony. Go ahead and unmute your microphone so you can repeat after me. I am love.
I am
I am
love.
love.
I am light.
I
am
am
light.
I am
light.
light.
I open to what's new.
I open to
I
what's
open to what's
new.
new.
I open to what's next.
I open to
I
what's
open to
next.
what's
what's
next.
And I let my light shine.
And
I let my light
Let
shine.
my light
And
shine.
so it is.
So it
So it
is.
is.
So it is.
Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Right. Arrivederci.